Sharing my screen, so can everyone see the full screen presentation?
Yep.
Perfect. So that was a great intro. So that kind of took my first slide, but as Emily said, I'm Jean-Baptiste Ranford, product manager for Snowbound. I've been with the company for 4 years and just moved into the product manager role, so excited about that and excited about this presentation today for speeding up the claims process. So the way I'm going to start the presentation is to give you a high-level overview of what we do and then kind of dive into specific features and functions that we have that help expedite all the claims processing, and then go into a quick little video that will highlight some of the features, and then we'll go into some case studies. So we're a privately held company out of Waltham, Massachusetts, and we were funded in 1996. And over that time, we've amassed thousands of customers and millions of end users all over the world. The way that the company started was with an imaging SDK, and we turned that into an applet viewer, and then we later turned that into an HTML5 viewer, which is the product that we will be talking about today. So we have 20 years of experience in the industry, and at a very high level, what we do is document viewing and collaboration. And what we allow you to do is, regardless of what backend repository you have, and we'll be focusing mostly on Alfresco today, we give you the ability to replace that viewer and add the ability to annotate, redact, manipulate pages. We have an extremely large format library, and we'll kind of tie all that into how that helps you do your job better and faster. But at the end of the day, what we're trying to do is create a more complete solution with whatever backend repository you have and allow your users to never leave that environment in the entire process of doing a claim. So how do we speed up that process? Well, one, we have what we call a zero footprint viewer. And what that allows you to do is have absolutely no third-party downloads. So whether your workforce is working remotely, whether you're working with other partners that help you at some point in the workflow of the claim process and they need to have access, there's no need for them to ever download anything to view any of the files we support. The other thing is page-on-demand technology. Now that allows us to bring up one single page and maybe 3 to 5 thumbnails on the side. So if you have a 100 meg file, a couple hundred pages, you don't need to wait to do anything with that document you don't need to wait for the whole document to download. It'll download the first page, and then as you navigate to the pages that you need to navigate to, it will load those pages, allowing you for very speedy access to what you need. And as I said, we support hundreds of different file formats. And when you're going through a claim, you might be getting a Word document with an explanation of kind of what happened in an accident, for example. You're going to get a picture of that accident in the form of a JPEG, maybe. Maybe they went to your website and filled out a PDF form to kind of explain what happened and make that claim, or maybe through an app on their phone, and it's going to kick off a PDF. So now you've got 3 to 10 different file formats that you're trying to get through. Well, with our application, you have no need to have Office, you have no need to have Adobe. You can just do that all through our viewer. Also, the ability to bookmark, text search, and annotate is going to allow you to do things a lot faster. So for example, if the person before you in the workflow bookmarked all the signature pages, and your job is to make sure that they're properly signed and that you have an approved stamp, for example, that you need to put on, you're going to be able to do that a lot faster. And with text searching the same way, we also have smart text searching now, which allows you to search, for example, for social security number strings or for account number strings. So you're going to be able to get to that information very quickly. Now, part of doing these processes differently than the way you used to do them is to make sure you're still compliant, to make sure that as much as you're trying to speed up the process, as much as you're trying to make it as easy as possible, you want to make sure that you're still compliant in everything that you do, or else that could result in big fines or issues with your customers going to other vendors. The great thing about this is, again, because there's no client-side download, the documents never need to be downloaded. They don't need to be emailed. Whether you're creating an end user portal for the end users to access their claims, or whether that's even internally with someone working remotely, they can do all of that in one viewer without downloading anything. We also provide an audit trail for the workflow history that you've been doing. We know, because of some of the customers that we work with, that keeping the original document intact is very important. So if you do make changes to the document, you still need to have access to the original for the audit trail. The way that we allow you to annotate and redact and still keep the original intact is, one, we do XML-based annotations, and you can report on those, and you can record everything that's done at a group level. You can record everything that's done at a user level, depending on how you want to do your reporting. But we work as a layer. There's nothing that's actually changing the original document. The only case in which that changes is for redaction. So if you're trying to send something out, but you don't want the social security number or the account number to be available to the people who are getting this information, you can redact the information. Now, the way we redact, and we consider it a true redaction, that means that it is completely scrubbed the data under the redaction. It is no longer text searchable. However, we create a new redacted version of that document to ensure that you have the audit trail in the original document if you do get audited. And of course, when you're looking at new technology, when you're looking to do all of these things, you want to grow your business. You want it to be easily scalable. And the way that we do that is, because we're all server-based, because there is no client-side download, there are a lot less installation and support challenges. IT is dealing with a lot less tickets that they have issues with. We also provide a consistent view for all your documents. So if at any point during the workflow, you're always used to seeing the document in the same way, you know where the tools that you need are, you're going to be able to streamline that process and make things a lot faster, as opposed to having to relearn new tools at each point in the workflow cycle. And then you're reducing overhead and increasing ROI. When your IT department is freed up to do what they need to do to make your business run smoothly and not dealing with support tickets because the tools aren't working correctly, that's going to be very beneficial. And of course, closing the claims faster. That's the number one thing. If you're able to get access to your claim and close it extremely fast, you're able to move on to the next claim, and that's money in your pocket. So the ROI can happen very quickly when you reduce that, 50% or more on the time spent to go through a claim. So I always like to add this slide. I'm not very technical in terms of how technical people can get on the engineering side, but our product is very easy to work with. So really anyone can understand this. The solution that we have plugs right in to Alfresco 1, and what we do is we drop 2 AMP files into the VirtualViewer content server and the plugin application for share. And then if you look on the devices side of the screen with the browsers, we support any device, tablets and phones. We support any browser. I believe we are Internet Explorer version 9 and up at this point, and Firefox, Chrome, and Safari. And then we plug right into the Alfresco Share web page and just replace the PDF.js viewer. Now, of course, if you're planning to use us, with a tablet or especially with a phone, when you're dealing with a much smaller surface area, some of the features are going to be a little bit limited, and that's by design, because we don't expect you to be doing high-level redactions on your phone. However, if you, for example, you've got a claims adjuster who's out in the field with an iPad and taking a picture of something, and he needs to put a sticky note just to say, the date and time of the accident and a couple notes about what happened, he can do that right there. And in terms of setting up a POC, working with Zia makes it very beneficial for us because we're able to, they understand Alfresco and they understand our product. So we can get people up and running in a quick proof of concept in about 10 minutes if the Alfresco environment is already up and running. And that's just the ability to drop in the AMP files, change the MIME types, and then view a document in just about 10 minutes. So now I'll play this quick video that'll dive into some of the features and functions that allow us to work so well as a replacement to PDF.js.
Snowbound provides users with a powerful web-based document viewer to view all popular document and image formats within a single window, including Microsoft Office, PDF, TIFF, AFP, and Modca. VirtualViewer HTML5 takes less than 10 minutes to install. Once the viewer is embedded directly into the Alfresco One interface, the user will never have to leave the environment to view a document. Alfresco users can easily navigate between documents and pages using tabbed windows and thumbnails. By displaying multiple documents and different file formats all in one window, VirtualViewer streamlines processing and review. Powerful text searching features enable users to quickly find desired content within text-based documents by highlighting the results. It filters results so only the pages that contain the search results are visible. Within the viewer's text extraction capabilities, users can easily copy and extract text from searchable documents by dragging over the desired text, copying to the clipboard, and then pasting safely and securely elsewhere. The document viewer's sophisticated page manipulation options allow users to easily delete, reorder, or move pages between documents, or create an entirely new document. VirtualViewer provides users with a variety of annotation and redaction tools, including rubber stamps, redactions, highlighting, and sticky notes. Annotations and redactions inherit user permission levels set up in Alfresco, ensuring confidential information is only seen by the approved users. When page manipulations and annotations are completed, the document can be saved and committed to the repository, or even exported or distributed depending on user permissions. VirtualViewer HTML5 is a pure Java viewer with Java-based server components. It operates on any device with a browser, including laptops, smartphones, and tablets. Its intelligent localization capabilities enable the UI to auto-detect browser settings and display in the proper language. No application download or client-side installation is required, making it a trouble-free solution for users as well as IT administrators. Unlike other complex alternatives, installing VirtualViewer takes less than 10 minutes. After a quick and easy install, the viewer is backed by Snowbound's award-winning and responsive support team for usage and configuration questions. Going forward, Snowbound's highly skilled network of system integrators can further enhance the benefits of integrating VirtualViewer HTML5 with Alfresco.
All right, and one thing that I do want to point out is when you look at text searching and specifically redacting, one of the great things that we're able to do with that is you can do search and redact, search and highlight, all those kind of things, right? So the intelligent text searching really allows you to speed up those processes when you're trying to look at those features. So now we'll take a look at a case study, and unfortunately this one is an unnamed case study because of the nature of the company. It's a very, very large lending company. But so this mortgage lending company came to us. It's a top 3 in North America. They had over 9 million mortgages valued at about $1.4 trillion in mortgages. They were getting hundreds of millions of dollars worth of new loans daily to decide whether or not to approve. They had a legacy content management system that they were using, and they were handling both paper and electronic documents. So what they tried to accomplish, coming to us, is they were going through about 250,000 documents per day. Varying in formats, and about half of those were paper, so 125,000 electronic documents and the rest in paper. They had to scale this solution to about 2,000 lenders, and when they came to us, they were closing about in 7 to 9 days for paper, and in about 4 to 5 days for their electronic documents. So their requirements were very stringent, and basically if we couldn't deliver on any of these, they weren't willing to move forward. They had spent a lot of money on their legacy system, and they weren't necessarily very excited about moving to something new. So for them to move to something new, they definitely needed to see something very different. So their requirements was the ability to view electronic forms that they were getting scanned in, faxes, emails with TIFFs, JPEGs, PDFs, AFPs, and anyone moving, for example, from IBM and who's been around for a while is going to have those old AFP formats that we support directly in our viewer, PCL, Office, and etc. One of the toughest challenges was to get to their sub 2-second loading of that first page. So as I talked about, the page on demand ability there came in and really is the only reason we were able to get to that sub 2-second of the first page. They wanted something that was 100% web-based. They wanted to be able to block users from being able to download their documents to the desktop. And then they also wanted to be able to have the ability to use their mouse and keyboard navigations with hotkeys to, again, streamline the process and make things a little faster. And of course, because this was scaling out to 2,000 plus lenders and end users, they really needed to go through rigorous load testing. So the solution was to move forward with our viewer integrated into their new transactional processing solution and ECM system that they move forward with. They configured the UIs for, depending on what the users were allowed to, they were able to restrict and download the download and emailing capabilities, and that's something that's very easily done. All of the features that we have available are completely configurable, so whatever you want your users to have access to or to not have access to is as easy as setting it up in that user-specific or group-specific environment. And then they implemented VirtualViewer to speed up their review and processing and allowed them to now have the annotation capabilities. Now, another thing from this is they came from a legacy system that did allow them to have annotations. And we do support annotations from IBM and from some of our other competitors right out of the box. So that also took a huge weight off of their shoulders in terms of being able to migrate to a new system without losing any of the information on these annotations. And they didn't need to do a mass migration of those annotations because as they brought up the documents, we supported them and then we saved them back through our formats. So the result is that their goal for security and business continuity was completely achieved. They were able to put in our VirtualViewer HTML5 solution in all of the processes and at all the points that they wanted to. We delivered on the sub 2-second requirement that they needed, and they were able to double the amount of documents that they were getting electronically to handle up to 500,000 of documents at peak times. So this enabled the lender to improve their processing by almost half. So we were now able to take about a day and a half to 2 days for the electronic copies, and the one that still involved paper, with which, you know, in lending that's always going to happen, they were able to get down to around 3 to 4 days. So again, once they rolled out this solution, in terms of, you know, what they paid for our solution, the ROI was basically instant when they switched on the product. So it made a lot of sense for them. So this is another case study that we did, and this one's interesting also because of the reason that they came for us. You know, we talk a lot about features and functionality and the things that we're able to do, but sometimes the most important things, and actually a lot of times in mortgage processing and in claims processing, the most important thing is just getting to the document very quickly matters more than being able, you know, at times it matters more than any of the functionality that you're going to have. So with Baldwin and Lyons, Zia came in and offered the Effisoft and Alfresco solution as well as our solution. And with Effisoft, you know, they came in and did the classification and extraction. Alfresco became the single content repository, and we actually came in at a later time once those solutions were already up and running for the viewing and collaborating. So what Zia was able to do was actually very impressive. They came in to this account and they were given a month to migrate 10 million documents during off-peak hours. And they had a month to do this. They were able to do it in 7 days, which obviously helped win them the account. They had very strong user adoption, again, because when you make the process that easy and that fast, it's, you know, the users are happy to jump on board. And now, instead of having, you know, millions of pieces of paper, they had an electronic process in this mailroom automation. So we came in a little bit later when they started realizing that they were having issues loading large files, and that was slowing down the efficiency at which they could go through these claims, and obviously hitting their bottom line on the profitability side of things. So they needed a quick and easy solution, and we were able to deliver on that. As I said, we have out-of-the-box connectors for many of the popular backend repositories, Alfresco being one of them. And so they were able to plug and play and go right into this. But above and beyond that, what Zia is able to do with our solution is, you know, nobody is using our viewer in the exact same way. And Zia can basically go into an account and use their skill and understanding of Alfresco and content in general, and where it's coming from and at what point in the workflow someone might need to view it. And they're able to make those little tweaks to the product, the connector, to the connector that we can't make out of the box because we don't know how everyone's going to use it. So they really helped streamline that process and allow, you know, safe and remote access for the product. And we were able to also deliver on that for Baldwin Lyons. So for us, 20 years in the industry, what that's meant is, you know, we're in 9 of the top 10 banks in the US, 7 of the top 10 in the world, top insurance companies across North America and Europe, and multiple US government branches. And the way that we add functionality to our product, the way that we look at what is the enhancement that we want to add next, is we talk to our customers. Because of the partnerships that we have with companies like Zia, we're able to focus on what we do well, and that's building a viewer, and that's adding functionalities to that viewer. And so that's kind of what I want to end on here is the Snowbound and Zia relationship gives you decades of expertise. Zia is going to come in from a content process management standpoint. They're going to be able to take all of the pieces of the puzzles and deliver a complete solution from beginning to end. And they're able to take, you know, as being one piece of the puzzle, they're able to take our viewer and really make it as powerful as it can be in any point of the workflow. And again, bringing all those pieces together, that's something that we can only do through our SI. So we always appreciate working with Zia on many projects. So my call to action to the people on the call is to set up a demo. As I said, we never run into the same problem twice. There's very similar problems, but the best way for us to do a demo that'll make sense for you is to, you know, sit down, talk about what current problems you're experiencing and how you're trying to tackle those problems. And I'm sure that with the help of Snowbound and Zia, we can put a successful implementation in place. So if there are any questions, I'll be happy to take those now, or if they're very specific, we'll take those offline and follow up with people.
Great, thanks so much, JB. We did have one question, and that is if we can send out the link to that demo video that you showed. And so definitely we will include that in the follow-up email that everyone will get tomorrow. We'll also include a link to this recording and JB's slides and his contact information. So if you don't have any further questions that people want to type on the webinar now, you can certainly reach out to him tomorrow. So thanks so much for your presentation, JB, and thanks for everybody for joining us, and we hope you have a great day.
Yeah, thank you very much.